To start an interview. Come on in, you guys. We're getting ready to start an interview with my friend Ben Azadi. You may know Ben Azadi from the Keto Camp concept. Ben has been out there doing his thing in the keto space for a little while, and he has a brand new book that just dropped today called Keto Flex. And if you haven't heard Ben talk about Keto Flex before, it is a brand new book all about keto, obviously, as well as fasting and lots of other things. So we're going to bring on Ben here in just a moment to have a 45-minute conversation. He was very gracious to be able to pop on here today on the release day of his book, Keto Flex. And so go check it out. It does look like Ben just got here on the stage, and we'll get this show on the road. He does have to go sharply in 45 minutes, so we will honor and respect his time. What is up, my friend? Welcome to the Instagram Live and Clubhouse, but welcome to the day that you've been waiting for over 2 years to come.
Oh, Jimmy, thank you for being gracious and inviting me today to talk about the book. And I'm so excited. Yes, the book Keto Flex is out there. And thank you so much for having me today, Jimmy.
Dude, you know I understand more than most people how special today is for you, because when you write a book, you pour your heart and soul into something, and you really and you did a deep dive these last couple of years, really investigating, like, what does the science say about keto? Because it's changed a lot since I first started writing keto books. There's a lot of new science out there, and you didn't just talk about keto, you talked about fasting, a lot of kind of biohacking type thing. You did a lot of stuff in this book, so I'm real excited that it's out there. I'm going to tell people where to find it. Go to ketoflexbook.com, and it zips you straight to the Amazon page to be able to get it in the paper or the Kindle. Is the audiobook available yet?
Not yet, but I'm actually going in this Saturday to start the process in a recording studio.
Nice.
How is it? How does it feel to record an audiobook?
As somebody who's done that 6 times, it's weird the first time, because you and I are both podcasters, so talking behind the microphone, no big deal. Reading your own book and reading your words and not sounding like you are reading from
Right.
It's hard. It's so hard, but you've got a good personality like I do, and so you'll pull it off. The thing I will recommend is take lots of breaks and don't feel like you have to get it all in one swell swoop. You're going to need maybe 10 to 15 minutes and then rest, because your energy will naturally decline. That's just a little word to the wise, a little behind the sausage making for everybody else to hear. So
That's super helpful. Thank you. I needed that.
Yeah. But welcome. And man, I have been hearing you talk about this book for a little while. And of course, the first inclination in 2021 when people hear another keto title is, why the hell do we need another keto book? So tell me your best pitch. Come at me, bruh. Tell me your best pitch for why there needs to be this keto book.
Well, I got started in keto back in 2013, 2014 when I first read your book, Keto Clarity, with Dr. Westman. So you were really a pinnacle with me exploring this amazing ancient healing strategy. So yeah, the question is, why would somebody want to get another keto book, another fasting book? There's so many out there. Well, like you said at the beginning, the research is changing. I have a unique view on things where I've applied these principles to thousands of people through my academy. And I kind of get to see what works, what doesn't work, and get some general rules of thumb to follow. So I apply that in there with the unique 4-pillar structure. And I love ketosis. I think it's a valuable tool, and every single human should use it. But I also think it's important to be more metabolically flexible and kind of flex in and out of ketosis, and sometimes tap into glucose. So that's
most of the research has been looking at that for a little while. And I know there was this whole controversy that happened in the keto world a few years back regarding higher protein versus higher fat, and whether you can actually stay in ketosis if you eat higher protein. I know you're pro higher protein.
Yeah.
I'm more that way than when I wrote Keto Clarity. So you bend with the science, you change with the times. But part of that process of doing that is, don't chase ketones, chase health, chase metabolic flexibility, which, yeah, at first, if you're insulin resistant, which 90% of the people in America are, at least on some level of the spectrum of insulin resistance, you want to heal some of that first. But what you'll find is that will kick in. That metabolic flexibility, that ability to keto flex becomes a lot easier once you heal that underlying IR.
Exactly. Yeah. It's astonishing that only about 12% maybe of Americans are metabolically flexible, to your point. A lot of people have this metabolic damage, insulin resistance on different levels. So in the book, I outline these 4 pillars, and I teach somebody who's a pure sugar burner. They've never done keto, they've never done fasting. And I teach them in about 14 to 21 days to get fat adapted, right? To get their body into ketosis. Different, as you know, than being keto adapted. So they're going to be burning fat instead of sugar. And then we transition to the second pillar, which is called fast, where now we apply intermittent fasting strategies and we become more of an efficient fat burner. Then we move them into the phase pillar, which is actually a carnivore chapter. And I outline my story and what carnivore did for me. And I outline 4 ways to actually do carnivore. And if you've done all that, you've earned the badge now after about 60 days to complete that, to start keto flexing, which is that 4th pillar. And I have about 7 different methods to do so according to whatever resonates with you. But the overall theme, and I say it right in the beginning, Jimmy, is the body is incredible. It is capable of healing. We have within us this physician, this innate intelligence that's just dying to work for us. We just have been interfering with it. So if you just follow the 3 principles, which is identify interference, number 1, and I teach you how to do that in the book, then work on removing the interference, number 2, then your body will heal. So the book talks all about that. It's 311 pages. And I can't help but sprinkle in some mindset, gratitude, self-love principles, because as you know, that is so important to healing.
Anybody that follows Ben Azadi knows all of those things go with the package. So.
and you were gracious enough to actually endorse the book and write an amazing blurb in the book where I have you right there in the beginning. And I'm so grateful for that, Jimmy.
Dude, you have so many people in your Rolodex of friends that, yeah, Jimmy's like low on the totem pole of all of those people.
No, man, you're the original. You're one of the originals out there in the space, man.
You've always been gracious to me. So let's talk about that whole protocol. And by the way, I remember a few weeks ago you were in your carnivore phase of doing a keto flex. And it was just amazing watching you. Oh, this is my carnivore. And, it's a meat.
Yeah.
More meat. Beautiful. Go follow him, by the way, on Instagram, the Ben Azadi, Azadi. Really great follow, and just got engaged. So congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a memorable few days, and you saw the video. How did you like that video?
He did a little sneaky. We're gonna get back to your book in a minute, but I'm gonna brag on how you proposed to your girlfriend. So he was at the book launch for Keto Flex, and he's sitting there doing a lecture, and they got the old traditional paper thing, and then he was going next slide, and your girlfriend was the one changing the slide. Well, the next slide was blank, and oh, it must be a couple more, and then you're like, all right, delay tactic, gotta grab the gotta. And then she got to the "Will you marry me" on the slide, and you were bent down on a knee and had the ring open, and like at first I think she was like, oh, and then she was like, what the?
She literally said that, yeah. And then she said, yeah, it was
really
so special.
classy the way you did it. And then, yeah, you two are obviously in love. It was beautiful to watch. That's ancillary to what we're talking about, but I had to brag on you a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was special.
Bro love for that one, man. That was very creative.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you sharing about that too.
But the phases of this, you say, okay, they go through those phases and then they can start flexing. Is that axiomatic for everyone, or will some people need to stay a little bit longer in those phases to do more healing? Because I'm imagining someone with out of control type 2 diabetes, 13 A1C, they obviously got a lot of damage going on, heavy insulin resistance. This won't work for them, will it?
Yeah, you make a good point. I talk about that. Like if you've reached that 4th pillar, which is the flex pillar, and it's time to get out of ketosis in a healthy way, but you still have some metabolic things going on, insulin resistance, diabetes, then I recommend actually sticking with ketosis a little bit longer as you drop the blood sugars and get more keto adapted and metabolically flexible.
Right.
So I do recommend staying with it longer. Now, if you reach that point, you have great glucose, great fasting glucose and ketones, then I would recommend you start flexing. But there's different ways to flex, Jimmy. You could flex with just a surplus of calories and protein. It doesn't necessarily have to be carbs. The goal for that flex day is to activate mTOR. to get away from more of the autophagy.
Although, if you talk to people like Dr. Ron Rosedale, they will tell you that mTOR pathway is everything, and that a constant state of low carb ketogenic is how you get there. So I get what you're saying, that this flex kind of makes your body kind of get used to going back and forth between primarily glucose and primarily ketones. Is there an argument against constant ketosis?
Yeah, there is, and I love Dr. Ron Rostein's work. So, yes, because there's a few things that can happen. As you know, insulin is not the bad guy. Insulin is actually the reason we exist today. If we didn't have this survival mechanism, our ancestors would not be able to store fat, then they would perish during the famine. So insulin is actually a very important process. The problem is when we're calling insulin all the time, high levels, too frequently, and then we get this resistance, as you talk about really, really well, Jimmy. So with chronically low levels of insulin, there's a few things that can happen, especially in women, but also in men. Number one, when we think about the thyroid, right? The T4 thyroid hormone, which is the inactive form of thyroid, it can't really be used by the cells in the body. It needs to be converted and activated to T3, which is the active form of thyroid. Every cell in the body actually has a receptor site for the T3 hormone. That's how important it is. What helps make that conversion is insulin. So with chronically low levels of insulin, what I've seen through my community and research and with the doctors that I work with, it could compromise that conversion, leading to thyroid issues, more so in women than with men, but also in men. So I think it's important to get those hormonal conversions through some healthy spikes of insulin, hence the keto flex day.
Absolutely. And thank you for explaining that, because a lot of people think, well, I feel so good in ketosis, why would I want to come out of it? And it's almost like going to the gym and you get to a certain level of strength, but you keep doing kind of the same thing. You're only going to get just so far. And yet if you change things up, maybe kind of go to a different set the next time, and you kind of work that for a period of time, then come back and then a little bit heavier with that original set, you're going to grow muscle. And it's kind of the same way. You want to have that flexibility to be able to come in and out of the ketosis, because quite frankly, our body runs on both glucose and ketones constantly. No matter what you eat, you can be a very high carb eater, you're burning some ketones.
Yes.
At you. And then even if you're the best, strictest, lowest carbist, strict keto person in the world, you still got glucose going on. So let's not pretend like it's an either or proposition. It's both. It's just what's the preponderance. And so pushing yourself into the glucose side, pushing yourself in the keto side, back and forth gives you great flexibility for any given situation. Now, the only pushback I'll give, just to play a little devil's advocate,
It's always good. It's always good.
is we'll go to more of a higher glucose state, either through more carbohydrates or more protein or more whatever, just something in the diet. They will see cravings come back on and other hormonal kind of things. The ghrelin goes crazy. Leptin kind of makes them think they're hungrier. How do you help control that? Do you address that in the book?
I do. You know, what I've seen, if you follow the protocol and you go through those 3 pillars and you've done the work, having your flex day should not lead to that. But if it does, there's a few things you can do. And that's where I love the protein. By increasing your protein, it'll really help with the ghrelin and the leptin and all these satiety hormones, because protein has that effect. As you know, Jimmy, it helps you feel full and satisfied. But if you reach that point and you feel like it's actually leading you back to that sugar burning life, then maybe you want to be a little bit more strict and develop more of this fine-tuned machinery in your metabolism and then do another flex day. Or you could have a flex day with protein and a surplus of calories, not necessarily the carbohydrates, because you feel like it's going to lead you to go backwards. So there's a few ways to work around this, but the goal is really to develop that relationship with the body. And as you know, everybody's so unique. I'm giving you some general rules here, but there's always going to be some exceptions, many exceptions to the rules here. And I want you to kind of just go back to different pillars and apply them and go back and forth. The magic is in the variation. Like you said, Jimmy, you don't do the same workout over and over and over. It's the variation that counts.
Well, and as with anything, I mean, there is not going to be any one thing that you could change. It's just not going to happen. And so you're going to change things, and you're going to, maybe something works for you when you kind of flex into a certain way, but then in the future, it doesn't work as well. So I love have a lot of kind of availability tools for people to be able to implement. So that's great that you did that. Can you quickly go over those 8? You said 8, right? Flex kind of strategies.
Yeah, I'll go over a few of them. And by the way, right before I hopped on here, I was looking on Amazon to look at the rankings, right? And I was like, to start, I was like in the thousands, of course. And they put me in the category exercise and fitness, and then diet and weight loss. And that's, those are some saturated categories. So as I've been refreshing over the days, and right before I got on here, it just hit #1 in exercise and nutrition and fitness, dude. So I'm super excited, and I want to thank you for your support and everybody else as well.
Dude, it was funny when, and not to interrupt your story, but when, I'm trying to remember which book it was one of the keto books I wrote. It came out, they put it in the vegan category.
So weird.
And it hit #1 in the vegan books.
They must have hated that, the vegans, dude. That's actually pretty cool.
Hey, that's a ministry to me, brother. We're trying to reach out to the.
That's true. That's true. That's so funny, man. Yeah, it's you kind of select your categories when you create the book, but then they choose whether you want to go into.
Well, actually, I think there's an algorithm on Amazon that sometimes it defaults to it. It does like a quick scan of keywords in your book, and so if it like thinks you're a exercise book, I guess because flex is in your title,
right?
Like flexing muscle, and so that's why it did that. Anyway,
weird, isn't that? Yeah. So let's talk about some flexing protocols, right? And I see a lot of people on here watching the live, and I appreciate all the support and the kind words. So the 7-day protocol called the 5-1-1 rule. And I like this protocol for somebody who has achieved their goal weight, they have metabolic flexibility, and they just kind of want to maintain their weight or maybe lose about 5 or 10 pounds. So it's a 7-day protocol. 5 days out of the week, you're going to be doing your favorite intermittent fasting schedule. And then you're going to be eating about 2 meals during your eating window that are keto friendly. Like you want to be in ketosis for those 5 days. The first one in the 5-1-1 is a 24-hour water fast. And that could be dinner to dinner or lunch to lunch, whatever you want to do. But we want to get more of the autophagy, more of the fat loss. Also, it has a profound benefit really resetting the gut. There was a really cool study in MIT that showed 24-hour water fast strengthened intestinal stem cells. So 24-hour water fast could be terrific for that. That's the first one. The second one in the 5-1-1 protocol is your flex day. And you could choose any day you want for that. It could be a Saturday, a Monday, a Friday. But on that day, you're going to actually flex out of ketosis. You're not going to practice fasting. You're going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Higher healthy carbs, about 100 grams to 150 grams of carbs, which, by the way, is still considered low carb according to the standard American diet, right, Jimmy? So you're going to do that for that one day. You're going to increase your protein and decrease your fat on that day. And that's the 5-1-1 rule. It's very sustainable. Now, I don't recommend you do that every single week, but that's just one example of how to do it.
By the way, you make a good point. When you raise carbohydrate, you better lower the fat. And it's not just an energy balance thing. It's those two in symbiosis when high together, not a good combo. And so you want to make sure that as you raise those carbohydrates, lower the fat. It has some cardiovascular benefits as well. Like you either want to go higher fat or lower carb, but you don't want to do high fat and high carb at the same time. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and that's what Americans are doing right now. They're eating high processed fat and processed carbs, and that leads, even if it's healthy fat and healthy carbs, you still don't want to do that, to your point, Jamie.
Right.
So that's the first one.
Yeah.
There's also what's called the 3-3-1 rule. This is a 7-day protocol. So if you have about 20 pounds or more to lose, this could be a good strategy for you. So the first 3 in the 3-3-1 is the same rules apply. Intermittent fasting schedule, eating keto-friendly meals, 2 meals, no more than that in your eating window. The second 3 in the 3-3-1 is actually a 72-hour water fast, which we know 72-hour water fast could actually really regenerate the immune system. You get more autophagy, more fat loss. And that's a piece of cake, because Jimmy just did. How many days did you just do?
18.
18 days, yeah. So 3-day, you're the master of autophagy right there. That's amazing. So 3-day water fast. And you could, if somebody doesn't feel comfortable doing a 3-day water fast, you could split it up into 3 24-hour fasts. That's fine as well. And then the one in the 3-3-1 is same rule apply. Keto flex day, no fasting, higher carbs, higher protein, lower fat. And that's good for somebody who has about 20 or more pounds to lose.
Okay. Got one more for us, and then we'll move on?
Yeah. So there's actually a strategy called the 6-1. Now, this is very different because it's for somebody who has been doing too much fasting, too much keto. They've gotten all this autophagy. They're actually losing muscle. They've got thyroid issues. So the 6-1 protocol is 6 flex days, right? Higher healthy carb days for 6 days in a row, and then one 24-hour fast. Again, you don't do this for weeks on end. It's just a way to mix things up, get the healthy insulin spikes, help make those hormonal conversions, and then you can switch to other strategies.
So let's talk about how you addressed fasting in the book, because when we were writing the complete guide to fasting, me and Dr. Fung,
Yeah.
I mean, starvation. Oh, you're gonna lose muscle. Like, did you feel the compulsion to have to address all the myths, or are you just assuming people kind of know what you mean when you say fasting now?
I assume people knew what I meant. I kind of went into the history of fasting to really give people an understanding that it's nothing new, as you and Dr. Fung explained so well. So no, I don't really get into all of the myths and the commonly asked questions. I'm on the premise in that book that somebody has the understanding about fasting, and I just kind of give them the guidelines and protocols on how to do different strategies for fasting and feasting.
Good, good. I mean, at this point, fasting is pretty popular in the culture, and of course, all the work on autophagy and the Nobel Prize in Science back in. So yeah, at this point, if you don't know about fasting, it's your fault, because the information is out there, and the science is heavily, heavily supporting it. Even though the mainstream, just like keto and carnivore diets, they just kind of poo-poo on it. They, oh my gosh, you're starving yourself. But we're getting there, Ben. We're getting there. Your book's definitely going to add to that zeitgeist.
Yeah, it is. And in your book, I mean, the complete guide to fasting is like the last fasting book you really need to read. So if you need to learn about fasting, that's the book I would go reference and go check out. I actually want to ask you, Jimmy, you did 18 days of a fast, right? That sounds crazy to a lot of people, right? So share with us and me and everybody watching, what were some of the learning experiences from that 18-day water fast? How was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I had done 3 21-day fasts before, so I had walked that trail. The original goal was 40. I knew it was a lofty goal, and I have had a lot of stress in my life. So, in the midst of that 18 days, I dealt with several like highly stressful things that happened. And what I learned was I'm resilient. I can I can calm myself when I got in those stressed moments. I stepped outside in my backyard. I kicked off my shoes. I grounded. I let that sun, it's beautiful sunshine here today. I know you have lots of sunshine in Miami Beach, but let the sun hit me. I did deep breathing exercises and meditation and was able to chill. Now, after day 4, didn't have any hunger, felt great. I think the funnest part though is when I started eating again. And the first day that I started eating again, that it was the day after I ended the fast, I had a CGM on where I was testing blood glucose. And I'm like, it's been so boring watching this CGM.
No action.
It worked. So guess what I did? I went and got some junk food because I wanted to see if I could make it jump. And I got some oatmeal pies from Little Debbie. So I wanted to see what that would do.
Wow.
You should jump it. And guess what? It did. I was 74 at baseline. 1 hour postprandial, 194.
Oh my gosh.
But here's the fun part. 2 hours postprandial, 85. My
Wow.
metabolic flexibility improved because of the fasting. And of course, I've done keto for a little while. So
Mhm.
I've been insulin resistant for a very long time. And I found these fasting periods, and I love that you include that in some of your flex programs, like a 3-day fast. I think that's going to be so profound at healing a lot of the insulin resistance that people deal with. I don't think you need 18 days. It was fun for me. I could flex my fasting muscle, but I think most people will get the benefits from what you just did, putting that in your protocol of 3 days
Right.
of fasting. And it's not hard. 3 days seems daunting if you've never done one day. But do one day, then do 18 hours, and then do 24, or then do 36 hours, then do 48, then do 72. It's no big deal. You get there. You work your way up. You don't start lifting 500 pounds, deadlift 500 pounds on day one. You're a gift if you can if you can do
Right.
that.
Yeah, it's a muscle. You're right. Fasting is a
Bruh,
muscle.
how much can you deadlift, bruh?
Oh man, let's see. During my CrossFit days, I think the most I deadlifted was like 450, I think was my highest.
That's hardcore. I did
Yeah,
about 350. Yeah.
still pretty good.
I'm not an athlete, and
Yeah,
so, but I am strong. I got a tire that I flip.
I
Um,
know.
And I find that on the days that I flip the tire, it's so weird. And talking about adding in carbohydrates, the days I flip the tire, I need some extra glucose.
Yep.
And so I might have a few extra carbohydrates either early in that day before I do the workout, or maybe the day before. So my glycogen tank is full and I can just power through flipping that tire. And then, of course, all that glycogen gets dumped. And
Hmm.
I'm back in ketosis again post workout, 2 hours post workout. And this freaks people out. They're, oh my gosh. And I'm sure you address a lot of this in Keto Flex as well, that strategic placement of carbohydrates. Don't freak out. You're still keto.
Right. Your body just burns it. Like you said, if you know you're going to have a high activity day or a workout, you're just going to top your glycogen stores and then burn it for fuel. And it actually gives you an advantage to your point. And a lot of people, the problem, Jimmy, is, the dogmatic approach, right? And I've been guilty of it myself. But if you understand how the body works at the cellular level and how the metabolism works, then you wouldn't be afraid. You actually could use these strategies to perform better and to feel better. So I love that you did that and you perform better as a result of having those healthy carbohydrates. So kudos to you.
Thank you. And one of the things I love about what your book is doing, it's proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that keto is not a diet.
Yes.
Metabolic state, that there's many roads to the metabolic state, because your metabolic the state of your metabolic health dictates the state of keto you need to do to get that metabolic health to be keto. Your keto is not going to be the same as my keto, and that's okay. We got to stop in the keto world saying that's not keto, that's not a keto food, that's not. And it's like, how do you know? Like, I know some people that can eat bananas every single day. I hate them, but and they're still burning fat for fuel.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so unique to the person, and like you said, it's not a diet. I definitely address that in the book, and we got to get away from this dogmatic approach because it's not a diet. Every single one of our ancestors did keto. They all had to. If they didn't achieve this metabolic flexibility, they would have died. They would not have existed. We would not exist today. They would not have gone through famines. So we want to achieve that. And I'm not saying we should do everything our ancestors did, but we're still hardwired for the old school when it comes to our cells being able to burn fat and burn sugar. So yes, we want to look at keto from a different lens, the way that you teach it, Jimmy, and apply it to the person, their health history, their goals, and use it for them and apply it for a lifestyle, not just some sort of fad diet.
Here, here. So, Ben, what's the best case scenario when it comes to people picking up your book? What do you hope the take-home message is for them?
I want them to finish the book and understand that their body is a masterpiece because they are a piece of the master. And they were designed to thrive. They were designed to wake up in the morning and have amazing energy levels that last throughout the whole day and go to bed and get rock star sleep and repeat and function at a high level and have mental clarity and being able to do all the things they want to do without being in pain, without having to go through symptoms and eventually not developing disease. We don't have to develop disease. We don't have to get cancer. That is not a part of our DNA blueprint. It's something that we create, that manifest. And I want the reader to finish the book and understand these amazing ancient healing strategies, ketosis, carnivore, fasting, and I want them to understand how to apply it and how to use it for lifelong results. So they could go back and revisit the book if they want, or in a year from now, they could have something from that book they could apply, but not only apply on themselves. I want them to apply it on themselves for sure, because knowledge is not power. It's not power until you take action. So you got to take action. But I also want you to then get the results and then apply it to your community. And that's how we're going to be able to change the world.
And the right knowledge helps you take action. And guys, I know this man. I have known him. We've talked personally on the phone, off the air. We've talked on the air a lot, been on Clubhouse together a lot. So he knows his stuff. I think you can trust him. Definitely go pick up a copy of Keto Flex. KetoFlexBook.com takes you straight to Amazon, so you can get that. I want to hit a few of the questions that came in here on Clubhouse. If you guys want to talk to Ben, raise your hand. We'll get you on stage and let you talk directly to him. Victoria looks like she said, and this is a funny one, how long should a woman who is stuck with keto eats 16 net carbs per day. Well, number one, why are you stuck with keto? Aren't you choosing to be keto? And then who gave you an arbitrary number of 16 grams of net carbohydrates? Anyway, Ben, any thoughts?
Yeah, you choose to do keto. And I always catch myself. And Jim is giving you some good coaching. He's not being hard on you. He's giving you some good coaching. And good to see Abel James on here. I love you, Abel. Abel also wrote a great.
He's got a voice we all wish we had for podcasts.
Right? Oh my gosh. If I had Abel's voice, I'd record a podcast every single day. So yes, you choose keto, which is great. Now, if you're a cycling woman, and by the way, chapter 12 is a chapter all about keto and fasting for women. So that would be the chapter that you want to read for sure. But if you have a monthly cycle, then I would say that you want to flex out of ketosis the 5 to 7 days leading up to your monthly period. So track it and have higher healthy carbs. It doesn't mean you have to have 150 grams of carbs, but 75 grams, 100 grams a day. You want to help build progesterone and build estrogen. So you don't want 16 grams. You want to increase that the 5 to 7 days leading up to your period. So you're not stuck with that. I actually recommend you go into that. Now, the question was, how long should you be low carb? I think that was the question. In the book, I do recommend before you do any flexing, whether you're a woman or a guy, you do the 60 days. 60 days to achieve the metabolic flexibility, to be a little bit disciplined, and to get keto adapted, which takes some time, 8 to 12 weeks possibly. Then you could start doing the flexing. So if you're a woman who has a monthly cycle, that's one way to do the flexing, 5 to 7 days before your period. If you're postmenopausal, then the 5-1-1 rule that I shared earlier would be good for you as well. So those are some strategies for you.
Absolutely. Becky says, I would love to use my CGM, and that's continuous glucose monitor, for those of you who hadn't heard that before, with my Keto Flex method, maybe an N=1 experiment coming up. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, Becky, good to see you on here. That would be awesome. And I want to see the feedback because I'm always looking at the members of my academy. Becky's actually a member to actually see what it does. So let us know the feedback from that. The goal, right? The goal is to have your flex day after you've done the work and build up this metabolic machinery. You enjoy yourself. You don't feel guilty about it. And hence, it's not a cheat day. It's not a day where you eat a whole bunch of vegetable oils and pizza and ice cream. That's not what a flex day is. It's healthy carbs. In the back of the book, I have an entire, it's called the Keto Camp Blueprint of recipes and healthy approved flex day carbs. But the goal is this, to flex out of ketosis for 1 day, and then you could use your CGM to see the next day or the following 48 hours if you're back at optimal glucose and back in ketosis. And you should be if you've done it the right way. So let us know how that goes for you, Becky.
Well, and I saw the day after you proposed to your girlfriend, you said you had a story yesterday.
Yeah.
A story where you said, we're keto flexing, baby.
That's right. Yeah. I want to make that a thing, man. I want people to like enjoy themselves, but hashtag keto flexing or post about it. Yeah, exactly. I went to this nice restaurant here and I had some gluten-free quesadilla with, some like ginger shots, and it was a keto, and I enjoyed it. That's the most important thing. When people say, oh my gosh, even if it was a bad meal, right? If you enjoyed yourself at the event, forget about it. Congratulations, you enjoyed yourself. Now let's just do a little bit better next time.
Well, and can we focus on that? Because that's such a central part of your work as well, is let's stop feeling guilty about the choices we make when we mess up. Guess what? Everybody messes up. Like, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Enjoy the moment if you choose to do that, but then you're going to get right back on your plan again. So I've always hated that. Oh, well, I messed up. I might as well keep messing up. It's like getting in a car accident. Here, let me keep crashing into other people all along the way. Nobody would do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was listening to Dr. Wayne Dyer today. I was driving to my chiropractor, and he was talking about an analogy that he used called about an orange, right? He goes, he said, what happens when you squeeze an orange? What comes out? And the audience was like, and he's like, this is an easy answer. What comes out? And he's like, orange juice, because that's what's inside of it. So when life squeezes you, right? When life puts pressure on you somehow with the challenges, how you respond is what's inside of you, right? So if you have love and forgiveness and gratitude inside of you, then when you have that pressure that life applies to you, then you're going to experience what comes out of you, love, gratitude, and a forgiveness. But if you have hate, if you have guilt, you have other things, that comes out. So everything starts on the inside. When life applies pressure to you, that's what's going to be shown on the outside. So I love having conversations like this, Jimmy, because you always talk about that.
You know what I love about Keto Flex as well is you take the strictness away. Now, I know there's people in the keto space that are super strict. I don't want to say their names because they're friends of mine, but you know who they are.
Yeah.
They're people that don't you dare look at a carb sideways or I'll slap you. You know who you are. I don't have to. And I can appreciate that mentality for people that need structure. But what you've done is you provided structure, but with the wiggle room to kind of say, hey, okay, here's a plan you can do. Talking about the flex plan. Here's a plan you can do. Here's a plan you can do. And they kind of have this choice, and there's not this kind of restrictive feel. That's what I think the magic of Keto Flex is.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. That was a goal of mine because I want this to be enjoyable. I want you to be able to have fun and give yourself that flexibility, right? That's on the title, not just with the food you're eating, but with your grace. So absolutely. And Dr. Karen says, can't wait to start practicing keto flexing with my community of mamas. Moms tend to have an all or nothing mindset. Yes. And let me know, please, how it goes and how I could support. And Elizabeth, good to see you. Thank you for the rings that you're posting there.
See, everybody loves how you were a player, man, with that proposal, man. That was awesome. You are going to remember that for the rest of your life. I'm never going to forget her going.
I know. Oh my gosh. It was so special. She had no idea. Like she thought the event was all about me, all about the book, which it was about the book. But I had been wanting to marry her for propose to her for quite some time. So I thought, all right, what better time now? We're going to have a good group of people there. And I knew I was going to give a lecture on the book and about health. And then I was going to ask some questions with questions already on the white flip chart. And I said, oh, I could bring her on and flip it and then have her lead to that question. So it was just an amazing night. Yeah.
Yes, yes. You had a book baby and then you got a marriage proposal. Dude, it's been a stressful, in a good way, stressful few days for you.
There's been a lot going on. Yeah, for sure. Even this morning, like Natasha, we go up to the rooftop, me and my fiance. And we typically like read for 30 minutes and drink coffee before I even look at my phone. And this morning I was guilty. I actually got on my phone. I was looking at all like the love. I was like, I couldn't even keep up with it. And she's like, you're not even reading this morning. I go, I know. I just got so much on my mind. So I didn't even read this morning.
Well,
yeah.
All of us were tagging you in the proposal posts on our season.
It was so nice, man. I loved it. Thank you.
It's a big deal what you did. And it was very romantic what you did.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Elizabeth says in the keto camp, which by the way, that's his branding, is keto camp, Ben's branding. We have to all do the hard work before we're allowed to flex. And yeah, that's what you were saying, that get in the work, get in ketosis, really get well fat adapted, heal, and then start flexing. I think people might want to think they want to jump. Is there a propensity in the clients you've worked with, Ben, through the programs you've done at Keto Camp, where people try to jump to flexing too early?
Yeah, or they'll skip the first pillar because they think they probably have been doing keto, and the first pillar was more so to get you into ketosis. But I tell them, look, still follow the first pillar, but you could keep your carbs low on day one, but follow the other little intricacies that I teach in there, because I talk about actually eliminating cow dairy for that period of time, eliminating almonds and spinach because of the oxalates for that period of time. So it gives you this down regulation of inflammation, but a lot of people want to skip that. But I recommend laying that framework, even if you've been doing keto and going into that first pillar, still do it with the exception of keeping your carbs low on day one.
So Vic wanted to know, when's your book going to be available internationally? She's in the UK.
Right now, Vic, it's available worldwide and anywhere Amazon distributes books. So if you go to ketoflexbook.com, you will have an option for the Kindle, which you could get an immediate download of that, or the paperback, which will ship to you. So right now it's available to you as of today. It just got released. And thank you for your support.
And in the UK, that's amazon.co.uk, and then just type in Keto Flex as a book title. Yeah, sometimes the only country I've had trouble getting my books into as a book, not just Kindle. Kindle is everywhere, but if you want the physical book, is Australia. For some reason, they don't have an Amazon Australia. They have to order from the States and then pay the shipping, and it's more for the shipping than the cost of the book. It's crazy.
Weird. I wonder if it's still like that. I haven't even checked. I wonder if it's still.
It is. Huh. I had 7 books in 7 years, and I kept asking my publisher, get me distribution. I got a lot of Aussie fans. So.
I see. So look, I see Lisa Oakes and Michael Oakes. They actually are here. They're in my Keto Camp Academy. They're amazing. I'm also friends with them now. But they actually flew to Miami from California to come to the book release party. And they're still here in Bay Harbor until they leave tomorrow. So they're amazing. They're such great supporters. I wanted to give them a special shout out there.
That's great. Yeah, Karen just bought Keto Flex in Canada, Amazon.ca. So yeah, wherever you got an Amazon, guys, if you order from Amazon and if you have Prime, it comes 2-day free shipping. So, and sometimes they'll even throw, depending on where you are in relation to a warehouse, they sometimes do same-day shipping or one-day shipping.
Right. Yeah.
I've got on warehouse real close to me, and if I order before like 10 a.m., it'll deliver the same day your book to me. So
exactly. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot to even mention this, but I'm going to be doing a special giveaway this week. So I have my Keto Camp Academy, which is my online health coaching program. It's $97 a month, cancel anytime. But what I'm going to announce it tomorrow. But anybody who purchases Keto Flex, the book, within the next 48 hours, so until Wednesday, actually Thursday, 12 a.m. If you buy the book, so those who already bought the book, and you actually email us with a copy of the receipt or like a screenshot, support@ketocamp.com, we're going to give you a special link and a coupon for an entire month free for the Keto Camp Academy. There's no obligation. So you get an entire month free. It's going to be just a 48-hour special. So email us, support@ketocamp, camp with the K.com if you want to get that coupon code.
So what's that valued at?
$97 for that whole month.
$7. Book is like 15 or 20, guys. Go get this damn book.
Yeah, the book's $14.97, so it's a great win-win.
Oh, dude. And by the way, if you pop into really high on Amazon, they'll discount your book even more. I remember when the Complete Guide to Fasting came out, it was selling so well that it popped into the top 10 of all books. And so they dropped it to like $7.99. I'm like, holy crap, we're going to blow them out the water. And we did.
Wow.
It was great. So good luck to you getting that to go. But I'm so happy. This has been a long time coming for you. And I know you've worked hard on this. You've put in the work. And you're one of the nicest people. This goes without saying, but I'm going to tell everybody. He is genuinely a real human being, a real, genuine, kind, loving human being. We need to support people like that. If we don't support the people doing good work, they're going to go away. And so we need to support people like Ben and keep them going. Shannon said, wow, I'm excited to get a whole month of support with the Keto.
I love it. I love that, Shannon. Yeah, and it's just only for new people, right? Not current members. And Shannon, you're not a member, so it's perfect for you. Jimmy, I want to just say thank you for what you just said. Likewise, man, you're an amazing soul. You not just have a wealth of knowledge and experience, but you just show up, you're consistent, you're so supportive and loving of me, and we need to support each other. Able to is right on here as well. And that's what it's about, because not everybody teaches what we teach. Number one, they don't have the same information, but the way that we teach it and how we genuinely care, we want to make a dent in disease. So not everybody in the health space, unfortunately, has that love and compassion and mindset. So those who do, we need to uplift and rise together and collaborate. This is a perfect example. So I appreciate you right back, Jimmy.
I literally wrote to you an Instagram DM. I'm like, dude, I help you promote this
exactly
book. And you're like, well, I got 15 minutes. I'm like, nope, we need longer. Move things around to accommodate this time slot. So thank you. I know my followers are very grateful that you were able to be here, and we got 45 minutes in together. Really, really appreciate it. And I genuinely love you. I think you're an amazing human being. Congrats again on the nuptials. I think you two are going to be amazing together. Got a date yet?
Because it's going to be next year, 2022. So we'll invite you to the wedding, Jimmy. Maybe you'll sing for us or something.
Oh, I won't. I'll do karaoke at your
deal. No, yes, 2022. Don't know where. Maybe Florida. We'll see what the world looks like next year, but we're definitely going to do it next year. And yeah, man, I love you right back, Jimmy. Thank you so much. I support you and everything that you do, and always grateful to have a conversation with you online or offline and just collaborate with like-minded people like you, Jimmy. So thank you.
Well, once again, congratulations on your book. Guys, go get Keto Flex by Ben Azadi. I almost called you Dr. Ben Azadi. People do that all the time. Dr. Jimmy Marmlin.
Yeah, all the time. Me too, dude. Yeah.
Play one on the internet. No. Let's see. Vic and Dawn just said they got your book. There you go. And Vic got it in the UK. So there you
Thank
go.
you so much. And I know Lois got it too. Thank you, Lois. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So go follow him on Instagram at the Ben Azadi, because there's no other one. It's only the Ben Azadi. That was good marketing, by the way, because sometimes I'll type in Ben and I don't find you, but I put in the Ben and I'm finding you. But go,
Thank you, Jimmy.
yes, go get his brand new book. It is Keto Flex. KetoFlexBook.com is the website, and it takes you right to the Amazon US page. And if you're
Right.
international, again, just go to your international Amazon site, type in Keto Flex Ben Azadi. You will find the book and order the next 48 hours, and you'll be able to get that perk that he mentioned with the one free month, $100 value, guys. Go get this book. Don't delay. I'm going to go do it now. He gave me incentive to go do it now. So
I love it, man.
thank you again. Carnivore Vixen says, congrats, Ben, looking into Northwest Florida.
Oh yeah, I love the Sarasota area, so maybe. And
I
thank you.
Pensacola was my childhood home.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's really Northwest Florida.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, Mr. South Beach, thanks for being here today, and good luck with your book launch.
Thank you, Jimmy. We'll talk soon. Love you, and thank you everybody for joining us today.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.